The Bellagio is considered one of the most famous icons on the Las Vegas Strip, with its iconic fountains having become a postcard for the entire city. But don't let that dazzling exterior fool you, because this place isn't just hiding some deceptive secrets. But perhaps, if you look at their true nature, they should even be considered illegal. Bellagio was built as a perfect dream, luxurious, classy, and flawless. But behind the white marble and the music harmonizing with the fountains lies a system operating on illusion, where everything is designed to make you spend, trust, and be blind. The profit figures, the five-star rooms, the glamorous performances, all are just a facade for a decaying reality. Mounting debt, staff cuts, and a series of financial problems that are gradually showing cracks. Bellagio is not only physically crumbling, it is crumbling in terms of trust. And the irony is, in a city built on illusions, Bellagio is the most perfect lie. In today's video, join us as we lift the shimmering curtain of water to reveal the ugly truth behind the 0.6 billion illusion called the Bellagio. If you love this place, be prepared for some trust-shattering shocks ahead. Are you ready yet? Let's get started right now. Inaugurated in 1998 at a staggering cost of $1.6 billion, the Bellagio was once hailed as the modern marvel of Las Vegas, where light, water, and music blended into a symphony of boundless luxury. It was a time when class was measured by the height of the water fountains, by the brilliance of marble and glass, by the synchronicity of every melody in the Andrea Bocelli soundtrack. Bellagio at that time was a statement of an America that believed it could turn any illusion into reality. A place where dreams and material things coexisted without limits. But after more than 2 decades, that symbol is no longer a mark of prosperity, but a perfect portrait of a luxury that has lost its soul. What was once considered the pinnacle of hospitality now operates like an emotional calculation machine. Luxury is no longer created by hospitality or refinement, but by the ability to price joy and a sense of belonging, through bills longer than a roll of Costco toilet paper. Every smile, every glass of wine, every moment enjoyed comes at a price. And it's so precise that it makes one forget that happiness is inherently immeasurable. What once overwhelmed people, fountains soaring in the desert, dazzling marble halls, pianos echoing through the night, is now just a pre-programmed performance, repeated over and over to cover the cracks in trust. Everything was maintained perfectly, almost lifelessly. The light still shimmered, but had lost its warmth. The music still echoed, but no longer touched the heart. At the Bellagio, luxury is no longer an experience, but a performance, repeated daily for those willing to pay to feel they still belong to the wonderful old common world. Luxury becomes a nostalgic therapy where people buy back the feelings they once had instead of living in the present. And so, the Bellagio is not just a hotel. It is a metaphor for the aging of the American dream. A dream for which people must pay a great deal of money to feel special, rather than being treated as special anymore. If in the 2000s, the Bellagio was a mirror reflecting faith in the future, today it clearly shows the self-deception of a society clinging to the past with artificial lights. But when every light comes with a bill, when every drop of water is converted into revenue, does that beauty still belong to the public? Or has it become a luxury item only for those who can afford to pay to see it? Let's find the answer together through the long numbers on the invoice. The Bellagio fountain was once hailed as Las Vegas's ultimate public gift, a testament that even in the city of desire and money, there is still beauty for everyone. But that concept today is only a remnant of a bygone era. Because right beneath that shimmering light, everything around the fountain has already been priced. A room listed at $144 night increased to over $220 tonight after adding a $50 resort fee and multiple taxes. A beer at the Baccarat bar costs $10.50, a cocktail in the main lobby is $18s, a Snickers bar from the minibar is $9, and a bottle of cold soda is $12. Those small details, when strung together, reveal the essence of modern luxury, a mechanism for commercializing emotions, where every moment is converted into economic value. Luxury at the Bellagio is no longer defined by sophistication or attentive service, but by its ability to make people pay to believe they are living in beauty. Beauty, here, is no longer a value, but a sophisticated product priced by the desire to escape reality. Even what is labeled free contains calculation. The free craps class was just a brief introduction with little practice before attendees were graciously invited to play with lower stakes, $15 instead of $25. A small concession, but enough to maintain the illusion of fairness. The pool area has 5 sections, but only one is for adults, and it closes early at 5 p.m, and while the rest are open until 8 p.m. Perhaps we've been too quick to compromise in the face of symbols of conditional freedom, where even silence has become a privilege that must be licensed. Behind the marble and neon lights lies a sophisticated economic structure operating on the feeling that fees are included in the dream. Everything is designed to make guests believe they are fully enjoying themselves, while in reality, they're participating in a consumer chain disguised by hidden cost traps. True values, like the free photo opportunities from the second floor of the conservatory or the vault, a small, quiet, reservation-only bar with extremely high prices, are not heavily promoted. They exist as remnants of the old spirit of hospitality, the remaining humanity in a model designed to maximize profit. There's no such thing as truly free anymore. Every drop of water, every ray of light, every piece of music has been converted into a sellable unit of emotion. The city, once born to expand dreams, now erects an invisible boundary between those who can afford to buy the dream and those who are left with only the ability to reminisce about it. In that space, the music, fountains, and flowers in the conservatory are no longer symbols of prosperity, but rather tools to maintain the illusion of prosperity. An illusion illuminated by the budgets of visitors who still believe Vegas is a place where miracles still happen. And when beauty is commercialized down to the smallest detail, is there anything real left here? Or are these just reflections, created to sell to our jaded desires? Perhaps what haunts us most isn't ghosts or endless lines of expenses, but the memory of a beautiful time that was bought at a cheap price and is now gone. From above, the Bellagio casino floor still shimmers like a breathing metal carpet. The golden lights intertwined with the clatter of coins, the cheers of people, and the rhythmic music, all in a symphony of opportunity. But beneath that seemingly harmless surface, something strange is happening. Roulette wheels, a classic symbol of Las Vegas, have been redesigned to look the same without being themselves. In the main area of the Bellagio, the roulette system is divided into 3 types: European with 1, 0, 00, and 000. In the final type, 000 roulette, the number 000, which is an important detail that helps players understand the odds of losing, has disappeared from view. Instead of 3 zeros, that spot was replaced with the MGM logo. On the sign, the game is no longer called 000 roulette, but simply MGM roulette. Even on the results screen, when the ball lands on Ausonzarent, that symbol doesn't appear. Instead, only the brand logo is shown. A seemingly small trick with a big impact. The bookmakers' win rate nearly doubled, from 5.26% to approximately 9.31%. With thousands of bets placed every day, this percentage translates to millions of dollars in additional profit. And what's remarkable isn't the game itself, but the way Vegas makes people believe nothing has changed. No warning signs, no detailed notes, just better lighting, newer tables, and a fancy logo to hide the truth. It's not just a probability trick, but aesthetic deception, a kind of artistry perfected by Vegas over decades. The rules haven't changed at all. Only the presentation has been refined so players can see what they want to see. Fairness, once the soul of the game, is now replaced by the science of manipulating vision and behavior. And the Bellagio, once the proud pinnacle of entertainment art, has now become a laboratory for consumer psychology, where every detail is calculated to maintain the illusion that you are still in control of your bets. Some people argue it's just brand design, not fraud. But when truth is hidden within beauty, the line between art and deception becomes blurred. Because players don't lose because they're unlucky, but because the game has been rewritten without their knowledge. This is no longer the Vegas of magicians and artists, where the audience knows they are watching illusions. This is the Vegas of behavioral analysts, where illusion becomes the only reality one is allowed to see. And perhaps that is the paradox of 21st century Vegas. The city no longer needs magic, because the very way it is designed is magic, an aesthetic creation designed to deceive with a sense of fairness. Today, when players bet on an MGM roulette table, they're not just betting money, they're betting on the belief that beauty equates to honesty. And that's probably Vegas's most dangerous gamble. If you want to try your luck in a more transparent environment, head to Wynn Lassie, Vegas, where the roulette system still adheres to traditional European rules and the boards clearly display each type of game, a less virtual option in this world of illusions. When the law allows the truth to be hidden in beauty, does truth still have any meaning? And if Vegas's iconic games are now designed for you to lose, will this city still be true to itself? Be careful with what is considered free at Bellagio, because that so-called free is essentially the first gateway to the hidden revenue model, where the experience is designed to turn curiosity into spending and trust into profit margins. From craps classes to the MGM Rewards cardholder-only priority access service, everything in Bellagio operates on the same principle, a sense of priority. It is a sophisticated system where the difference between privilege and illusion privilege is only one velvet fence apart. The person without the card standing in line, the person with the card being scrolled through the private gate, believes that he has just been treated better than, while they are both participating in the same game, just different roles. Here, Vegas doesn't need public deception, just a rearrangement of language and space. The board member's priority line doesn't lie. It just doesn't say it all. The truth is not hidden by deception, but regulated by emotions. A free water bottle, a personalized greeting, a warmer light, all work as commercial doses of dopamine, reinforcing the feeling that itself is special. That's how Bellagio, and more broadly MGM resorts, operate an economic economy. In this model, value does not lie in the product, but in the psychological state that the product creates. A bed is not just a place to sleep, it is premium comfort. A card is not just a point accumulator, it is a membership privilege. And when every element is valued by emotion, trust becomes the most profitable commodity. Bellagio is no longer simply a hotel or a casino. It is a psychological system disguised as luxury. This structure replicates inequality under the shell that serves to personalize, causing the person who pays more to believe they are more respected, and the person who pays less to believe they still have a chance of being upgraded. They both left with a winning feeling, and that's why no one really realized they had lost. In the long term, this successful model not only reflects the way Vegas operates, but also reflects the nature of the modern American economy, where feeling is perceived as more important than the true value itself. When every emotion has a price, when every consumer behavior is labeled priority, society gradually loses the ability to distinguish between real and simulated privileges. And that is probably the paradox of the era where we no longer buy services, but buy the illusion that we are treated more fairly than others, when in fact, the whole system is designed to keep it all in the same circle. Spend more to feel better, until the preferred becomes a subtle form of slavery. If you're looking for a more transparent experience where the difference comes from real quality rather than marketing guises, try the Venetian Las Vegas, where the membership program remains tied to real service, not emotions are resold. From the outside, Bellagio still exudes absolute perfection. A palace in the middle of the desert, where light reflects on curved glass panels like silver scales, and music and fountains form the eternal song of luxury. But inside, the marble surface has begun to crack. Not with tangible cracks, but with small details. Signs of an empire tiring under its own heritage. The Premier King Room, once the standard of luxury, is now just a memory of its golden age. Area 510 FT2, price $144 a night, plus $50 resort fee and taxes, totaling about $220 for a midweek night. The number seems reasonable for a Vegas icon, but the real experience exposes a paradox. Stains on the sheets, hair lingering in an ice bucket, weak showers, and the silence of a room once designed to overwhelm visitors. Every little detail as a reminder, luxury doesn't just need to be built, it needs to be maintained. And Bellagio seems to be losing that very race. Even the spa district, which once represented the MGM service benchmark, reflects a disturbing change. 50-minute massage price increased from $180 to $190, not to mention the 20% auto gratuity fee. One Way legalizes the price increase without calling it by name. The feeling of relaxation is replaced by the feeling of being charged, and class becomes the math between profit and customer patience. This is no longer the evolution of luxury, but the abuse of luxury, when beauty is stretched too much until it loses its meaning. But this degradation is not just physical, it is symbolic collapse. Bellagio, and even MGM resorts, are stuck in a paradox. Too big to innovate, but too tired to maintain standards. All renovation efforts are just patching the surface, while the core essence of hospitality, sophistication, and humanity of service is gradually disappearing. Las Vegas used to be a symbol of constant creativity, where every project was a manifesto, bigger, bolder, better. But now, that spirit has become the prison of this city. Bellagio, once built to challenge limits, is now imprisoned by his own success. Every time it was upgraded, MGM had to spend more just to keep the old illusion intact. And when the cost of maintaining the illusion exceeds the true value, the self-destruct cycle of continuous extravagance begins. When subtlety only exists in advertising, when 5 stars becomes a meaningless hollow sticker, the brand is no longer a promise, but just a cover for a collective fatigue. Vegas used to be a place where people believed in miracles, but now it's just a place where miracles have to pay for their own maintenance. If you're still looking for authentic luxury, where real quality replaces polished looks, head to Aria Las Vegas, one of MGM's rare hotels that maintains service standards and a spirit of innovation, with modern design, substantive amenities, and a transparent experience. Can a symbol survive if its core values have been eroded? And how many more lights need to turn on to cover the cracks spreading beneath the marble? Bellagio is not a hotel's own tragedy. It is a mirror of an America after its peak. Period where success can continue to exist despite the collapse of value, as long as the look and story remain the same. Like skyscrapers in New York, deserted airports in Florida, or abandoned factories in the Midwest, Bellagio represents an era trying to hold on to its own image. Lavish, but empty. Flashy, but no soul left. That is the operating model of modern America. As faith in true quality gradually disappeared, society began to replace it with symbolism. New Bellagio springs up everywhere, in politics, media, education, and even daily life. They carry the same formula, reselling the illusion of the past as a new product, making people believe that they are living in progress, when in fact they are just repeating old dreams, repackaged with more beautiful lights. No empire can stand on systematic pretense. And Bellagio, although still crowded, is proof of that. Because there is nothing more fragile than a brand that only exists thanks to memory. As the last coat of faith peels, Vegas will be forced to face the question, can light still save a city that has lost its meaning? This lesson is not just for MGM, but for an entire generation that believed that the Vegas lights never went out. Because that light has never been real, it is only strong enough to hide the darkness. And now that the cost of perpetuating the illusion has exceeded its means, Las Vegas is entering the same trajectory that America once warned about itself. A society run on borrowed faith. From the tourism industry to the media, the same rule repeats itself. Polish memories, recycle dreams, then sell them to the next generation. But no model can last when everyone knows that miracles no longer work. Bellagio, gem of the desert, is becoming a monument of collective fatigue, where both staff and visitors play roles in a play they no longer believe in. If Las Vegas wants to retain its soul, it needs to relearn the lesson it once taught the world. Honesty is the most luxurious value. And perhaps brands like Four Seasons Las Vegas, that still focus on personal service and real value instead of flaunting, are rare examples that still retain that. How many more symbols must collapse before America learns to look reality in the face? And if Bellagio is the last illusion of prosperity, who will wake us from that dream? Maybe Bellagio has never really collapsed. It's just aging with the dream that created it. The fountains still dance, the music still plays, but the meaning has changed. In the midst of that splendor, people are no longer seeing the future, but are just reminiscing about a past that once made them believe that America is where anything is possible. Bellagio, in a way, has become the physical memory of the belief that has passed, where one does not come to dream, but to remember the feeling of having been allowed to dream. And perhaps that is the true tragedy of modern America, when success is maintained not by innovation, but by nostalgia, when an entire society continues to buy back the illusion it once sold. If Vegas is the stage of the American dream, then Bellagio is the gradually closing velvet curtain of that show, is still gorgeous, but heavy with time. How many more symbols must collapse before we dare to admit that beauty cannot save a tired soul? And if Bellagio is the ultimate illusion of prosperity, who else has the courage to step out of the light and see where America really is? If you believe that stories like this need to be told, please like, share, and subscribe to continue exploring with me the illusions that are shaping America today. Because only when we dare to face darkness can we find our true light again. The content in this video is built on public documents, actual recordings, and reputable analytical sources, with the purpose of evoking social reflection, without attacking or defaming any organization or any individual. All assessments, comparisons, and judgments in the video are cultural and economic reflections to help audiences see the larger movements taking place in American society without affirming or attributing mistakes to any individual subject. We do not represent MGM Resorts, Bellagio, or any related business, nor do we provide investment, commercial, or consumer-oriented advice. Quotes about prices, experiences, or service information are used as illustrative examples to highlight changes in the way people perceive value, trust, and luxury in modern society. This video does not seek to promote pessimism or criticism, but seeks to evoke dialogue between those who once believed in an American dream and the generation trying to redefine it. All images and information are selected with respect, objectivity, and humanistic awareness. If there's anything this video wants to leave behind, it's not a judgment, it's an invitation to look back. That sometimes the lights don't go out, not because the city is alive, but because we haven't had the courage to see the real darkness.